Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Breaking Uneven podcast. We love to talk shop, uncover the beauty of failures, and play a few games. Today, we have with us the founder of Bala, Vaishnavi Bala. Before she even finished her bachelor's and master's in fashion and apparel design, where she won many awards, by the way, Vaishnavi had already started her journey with Bala. Have we missed anything so far, Vaishnavi?
No, we don't.
Awesome. So, to get started, we're going to play a quick little game to understand more about Bala. So, Janvi's going to take it from here.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna play the Twitter pitch challenge. Twitter is known for its 280 character limit on every tweet, which sometimes makes it a little difficult to convey your thoughts. It takes about 20 seconds to speak 280 characters. So you want to transfer this challenge to you to explain to us, Balav, in 20 seconds. We won't make it easy. We want you to also use one emoji and one hashtag in your tweet. Any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, perfect. So I will start your time now.
So Balav is a conscious genderless streetwear brand that aims at normalizing experimenting in fashion. Hashtag out of the box. And I think that's it.
Yeah, that's 11 seconds, but you missed the
An
emoji.
emoji.
Yeah.
Oh. The cool the sunglasses emoji.
Okay, yeah, cool. Given that you had 10 seconds left, we just include it. But okay, yeah, that's a cool description of what you do.
Cool. So, we after the Twitter pitch challenge, we generally go into a conversation with you where we start off simple by asking, the founder where the name came from. However, in your case, it's quite clear where the name came from. So instead,
Yeah, honestly, the first person saying that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, where do you get the name from?" And then it's just so weird for me to explain that. Okay, this is my name, and it's like a play around my name. But yeah,
yeah, I mean, when I like first because I'd seen your email as well, I was like, oh yeah, quite a cool name. It's nice that you have a name which can so easily become a brand
mhm.
name.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing if people are asking you. Interesting story. But what stood out to me a lot when I was looking at your website is this term you mentioned, which is innovative jugaad. Right. So what does that mean, and what is it in the context of Bala?
So the whole like I started off by having like an interest when it came to fashion because it's my nanny. So when I was really young, she made me this velvet outfit, and we were like how everyone tells बचपन में बहुत ही poor थे and वहां से यहाँ आए. So that was our situation, and we had like we didn't really have like facilities or like you are not going to go and get a zipper and like have everything arranged before you make a dress for like your grandkid. She's just doing it as a pastime. So she made me this outfit, and not knowing how to give it a fastening, like there's no zipper, buttons, nothing. Usually, I think in those days they used to have like Velcro, which was like an easy option. So what she did was she took this metal ring, which was like a ring which is a part of the kitchen in the house. It was like just there. She used the ring, and with Velcro on either side, she clipped it in. So the back had this whole metal ring, and that basically held the entire outfit. So that is somewhere where innovative jugaad comes from, and that is one of the most striking things when I think about my past as how I've reached here today. So I usually every time I'm like making a collection, there's always times when there's like a mess up or there's a mishap and you're running around to figure things out. Like in every fashion movie that you must have seen, 5 minutes before like a runway show, that's when this happens. So that is honestly part of every designer's life. And um, for me, this way of thinking, like innovative jugaad, is something that has helped me like get my way out of a lot of situations and fix things for me. So I use like claw clasps in my garments. So there's this one time when I couldn't really figure out, I didn't get a button color in the same color as the fabric. So I was just confused that okay, there's no button. I don't want to be using a zipper since this is a blazer. I don't know how to clip it up together. So I was just like, okay, why not use a claw clasp? Because that is not something people usually do, but that is also something that could look pretty cool and it stands out as a different design feature. So yeah, that is where I put innovative jugaad to use, and the backstory is where it comes from.
No, I love that. I think, even outside the context of parlor, innovative jugaad is something that's very important today. But tell me this: do you create problems for yourself so that you're forced to find innovative solutions?
No, I think I'm just like a really problematic, mismanaged person, and that my brand speaks of it because my very first collection was 100% inspired by overthinking and like confusion, and that is my personality. So after like during COVID for a year, I was like I had a creative block, if I could put it that way, but I didn't really have any ideas, so I couldn't really start off with a collection. And I kept thinking so hard because everyone said, okay, you got to start somewhere. And so this, I was just like, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna use my personality on the garment. And I made these pants with 12 pockets because I'm a person who's completely confused. I don't know where to put my hands in. And that is one of my best sellers today because you usually don't see pants that have like 12 pockets. You look at it, you're like, okay, I don't know where to put my hand in. Where do I keep my money? Where do I keep my phone? But you can sneak in food into a theater and alcohol in a club. And I can guarantee that because I've done it multiple times.
That's cool that like literally your brand that you're creating is based out of like the problems or the over like it's a part of you and an extension
Exactly.
of you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. So like how did it all start? Like how did you come up with the idea? Um did you like bootstrap it? How is it growing? Like how have you built the whole thing so far?
So like I said, I always wanted to be a designer, and I did my undergrads from NIFT in Bangalore, and after that, like the same year that I graduated, I went ahead to do my masters in Milan, and I studied there for a year and a half, followed by this fashion show called Fashion Graduate Italia. So while I was studying there, Italy, especially Milan, is like a place where you see fashion every few seconds because everyone is so overdressed that I don't think the term overdressing exists in the city because it's like normal. It's a way of life for people out there, and because of that, that somewhere built my character and my style when it came to fashion. Because looking and learning and like the college that I was studying in, they have like a particular taste. They guide you in a certain way, and that is something that has really helped me get where I am. And after I came back exactly a week before like the whole COVID pandemic started happening, and it was really messed up. So I lost a good amount of time. The funny story is that I was actually supposed to launch my brand in March 21 at Magnetic Fields in Rajasthan, and I tested positive for COVID at the airport. And what's funny is that I was worried about not finishing my collection, not packing the right stuff, missing out on things. And COVID, I was like, dude, this is something that this doesn't it's won't happen to me. How can it happen to me? I've reached the airport, my Arogya Setu is flashing red. And I'm like, oh my god, like this is one problem I really didn't think of like at all. But luckily my friends went ahead and like did the pop-up and launch for me. And yeah, that's how it started because I knew what I want to do. I knew my niche when it came to fashion. And my motive here is to make people be comfortable in wearing clothes that they might think are extravagant, but these clothes make them stand out definitely. And I've had this feedback from most of my customers once they wear something that, okay, I really like it. Initially they go like, oh, I don't know where to wear it. This is too much for me. But I somewhere want to see India also on the same lines when it comes to fashion, the way I saw things in Milan, maybe because everyone's so confident and it's not just about dressing up. Even if you're wearing like a normal kurta and pants, you need to be confident, and I think confidence is key. So putting all of these things together is where I started my brand, and I just went for it. I didn't have like a blueprint. I mean, I had a lakh and I put that money in my first collection and like part of it in the pop-up that I did in Rajasthan. And yeah, I mean, with the same amount of money, whatever comes in, I work with that, and that's how it's been going. And it's been like a great ride. I mean, I still make mistakes, and I'm still learning as I'm growing in the business, or like however it goes, because there are so many things that I didn't even know exist. Because like after my undergrad, I straight went for a master, so I didn't even have like a work experience in a retail or in like a designer store or anything of that sort, wherein I could have probably learned the nitty gritties that usually you tend to miss out when you're doing like a 1 month internship, which I've done. But yeah, those are the things that I'm learning now. And the best part about it is that even though people tell you that it's better to have experience before you start off, my prime focus here was that streetwear is something that is growing. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I don't want to be part of the other 100 people who come once it's already like a fad or like it's crazy out here. I want to be one of the first few, and at a young age, like I want to start as soon as possible. And whatever mistakes I make, one good thing is that I never make them again because I've faced the consequences that I'm never doing it again. So rather than learning from somebody else's mistake, which probably could have helped me too, I'm making my own mistakes where I know, okay, oh shit, this is what I've done, ye to kabhi nahi karna hai. So it's, I think this way of growing is really helping me learn a lot more things. And I've never had a business background. I'm a fashion student, like completely. I've done fashion for like 5.5 years, and now I'm learning other things when it comes to finance, business. I do my management. I'm my social media manager. I'm the art director. I'm basically everything for Balav right now, and it's honestly fun. It gets really irritating sometimes because I have to deal with vendors, I have to deal with customers, I have to deal with like the vendors, middlemen. So there's too many people that you need to deal with, and there's like a time constraint, and you get late with things and all of that. But it's great because now tomorrow, once I have people working for me, I know exactly how to do what and whom to talk to because I've spoken to each single person instead of somebody else doing it for me.
Yeah. I think your passion is very evident, like when you talk. So it's really nice to like see how like committed and like how like your entire journey is going, and also like how optimistic you are about like the problem solving aspect of it. I think a lot of people would find that challenging and not take it, like they would rather make mistakes at someone else's cost. But I think that you've taken a really nice like approach of being okay with like the mistakes happening while you're building the company and like learning from that. So yeah, that's like incredible. um and in terms of like your journey, like what do you see happening in like the next year? Do you see yourself hiring a team, or
Oh,
do you still think that you want to be like, are you like a control freak when it comes to that, like you want to like manage everything, or are you ready to let go?
yeah, I micromanage a lot, so that's one problem with me. I'm OCD about a lot of things. And again, so I definitely am going to be hiring a team very soon because um, I can't be doing everything on my own at this stage because I need things to move at a faster pace. But I want to be hiring people once I know how to handle everything on my own because tomorrow, if somebody leaves the job and leaves me stranded in between, I'm not going to be in a bad situation because tomorrow, if my tailor quits, I can stitch my garments on my own. So I want to be like in that position when it comes to working like this. And apart from that, I'll definitely hire a team like really soon. But yeah, I think that'd be great because now the work will get divided and it'll be perfectly managed and all of that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, but it's there's also the fact that maybe at this stage it is possible for you to be able to take over anything if someone else decides to leave. But obviously at some point, maybe 5 years down the line or whatever, it's going to be tough to do that, right? So
For sure, for
speaking of
sure.
like going to the next stage, have you thought about like going for funding or any kind of investment with Bala?
Definitely, I do want to get investors on board like really soon because I want the brand. I mean, I don't see this brand as a brand top whatever brand in India because of course I do, but like that's not my end goal. I want to be standing next to like a Gucci or Prada because that's my aim. Like I want to be recognized internationally, and I'm somewhere working towards that because I want to represent the country, of course, worldwide because India does not really have like a name when it comes to fashion, and that really like irritates me because there is so much culture and there's a lot happening. There's crazy brands, but people don't count us in the fashion pro countries of the world. Like we're not even close yet, which I fail to understand absolutely. So that is something I would love to contribute to. Apart from that, I want to be dressing people up from all over the world in Balav for every possible reason that I want to make clothes for every now my I have my favorite artist. I love Drake. I want to see Drake wear my pants. I actually so I edited a picture of Drake. He did this concert wherein he was wearing the Sidhu Moosewala t-shirt and he was wearing black Nike pants. So I edited those pants and I made them Balav pants, and I thought people would get it, but everyone's like, "Oh my god, champagne papi is wearing your pants," and I'm like, seriously, like I mean, it looks edited, but I was like, yeah, I mean, you should get it. I mean, look at it, man, that's crazy. He's wearing it, you get it. Like, let's all get it, and that's what I'm manifesting at. Like, I hope this happens like really soon, and okay, I'm gonna be positive. It's going to happen really soon, and yeah, that's where I see myself. Like in the next year, I started retailing from an offline store in August. So this is my first like offline experience that people would have of Balav. So there's a store called CDC Experience in Delhi. It's like a multi streetwear brand outlet, and I started retailing with them. So in the next year, I feel like since I've done that, people trust the brand and like appreciating the brand even more because my designs are a little complex for people to understand just when they see a picture. It's something that is better to feel, touch, and like try out in person. And yeah, by the next year, I have a lot more plans. I just did a pop up in London, and it's actually currently happening, which and it ends on
Oh,
the 18th. Yeah, so this is like a small step towards like taking it forward internationally, maybe if I can say that. But yeah, so that's where I see myself, and I'm trying to get there soon. Fingers crossed.
So okay. So there's a pop up in London, and then there's you have the CDC in store experience in Delhi.
Yeah, so the London pop up is like a temporary, like 1 week. CDC experience is on a contract basis. So they have like multiple brands out there. Now I have people like see, feel the clothes, right? So I'm getting like a much better response. And now people know the brand. So I happen to like now, initially it was me selling through Shopify and Instagram. So I somewhere had track of, okay, this person shopped for me, this person got it for me because I know what's going on with the brand. But now when it comes to CDC, there's an offline in-store experience that I'm not really aware about. So I suddenly see like a random Instagram explore story wherein someone's wearing balav, and I'm like, oh wow, that's like these are my pants, and that's like a really like exciting feeling because I mean this is something I've dreamed of. It's like I've always wanted to see people wear my creations, and that's happening. So yeah.
yeah, that must be like so cool, like and surreal to just like scroll and like see someone like wear something that you've created. But in terms of like your offline online experience, like given that like your CDC store or even like the pop up in London, when it's like online, I guess you have direct access like to the feedback and things like that. Like, is there something that you're trying to do so that you can get feedback of people that are buying your clothes like in person and feeling it and things like that?
And in fact, I've gotten like a really great response about the fabric that I use. So usually when you see cargo pants, it's mostly like a drill denim fabric, like a thicker fabric or a canvas fabric that people use. But I use a polyester based fabric which has like more fluidity. So it perfectly sits on the hip, and it flows on the feet, and it sits on top of your shoe. So when you think of someone who's especially a sneakerhead, they want the pants to fall on the shoe a certain way, and this fabric helps with that. Or if you see women, they want pants to fit their butt properly because otherwise, this is a problem I personally face a lot of times that the waist is small and like the hip is slightly bigger, because of which the pants are loose at the waist. Like these pants are the material is stretchable, so you make it in a way that it fits the butt and it fits the waist, so it's got like a perfect fit. And I mean, I'm really proud of these pants because I made it initially for myself because I had this particular issue, and then I added on pockets to it because of like my mismanagement problems. But yeah, now people really like initially a lot of people were like, oh my god, what is this? This isn't cargo pants, these are different, this is a different fabric. And then the same person after 2 days was like, oh my god, like it's weird initially for me to accept the fact that it's a little different from like the normal way of doing it, but I like it because the fit is really cool, or like it's comfortable.
that it ties back to the point of where you said that like India is not represented generally at a global scale, and honestly, I'm very passionate about that as well. Like to see certain things where a name brand from India is not like at the same level as an international brand, and I think sometimes that's the reason that our like figures, for example, are not necessarily well represented. So yeah, no, I like the fact that like again, it's all like stemmed from something that you believe in, something that you faced, and that's where like the inspiration comes from. So it's nice that how like it all ties together. But like just curious to know like how the entire process went, and like how long did it take you to either like find vendors or like manufacturers. Like what was the process from like, oh yeah, I have this thought, like I want to start this brand, to like actually finding everything. And actually no, even like before that, like thinking about like, oh, I want to start something, actually deciding to start it and like working to start it, to like finding all the vendors and everything to be able to launch your brand. Like was that a quick turnaround, or did it take you like a long period of time?
Initially, so since I'm from a fashion background, like even though I studied in Bangalore, I always had um like a Mumbai base when it came to like fabrics or like tailors and stuff like that. So um I had 2 months, so I tested positive, right? The 2 months that I had before the launch, I was just told that okay, on the 1st of March, this somebody reached out to me saying we're having this and it's happening on the 19th. So and this is when my brand hasn't launched yet. So I was like, okay, let me do it. Why not? And I'm gonna do it in a way that this particular pop up marks the launch of my brand as well. So I had 19 days to create a collection, and I don't do mass production. So I made like about 20 pieces in total, and I took around 60 of each. So at this point, I had three different tailors. I outsourced everything from three different tailors who I previously have worked with because, I usually, since NIFT happened to me, I've always gotten like my birthday outfit or like, an outfit I want to wear for somebody's wedding. I started making my own clothes because I was like, okay, the kind of design that I want and I know can be possible is not readily available. So why not? Because now I know how to do this. So I started getting stuff made. So because of which I had like tailors here and there around the town. And since I had like a fashion background, I also knew how to get stuff done because this is what they teach you in college. Like every year in NIFT, you make a garment from scratch. You stitch the garment. You get everything figured out. You do the printing if that's what it takes. So this way, I figured how to get these things done here, how to get the other stuff done from there, and that's how I put it together. So before the 19th, I just had like 10, like 20 pieces that I put together, and there was no after that there was no backing. So this happened, the pop-up started, I'm at home, like I've tested positive, my friends have gone ahead done it for me. But while this time happened, I started on like there are these online consultancy agencies that help you hire tailors and a team and stuff like that. So I just thought, okay, why not? Now that I don't have like a fixed person, I want somebody to work for me because I don't want to be outsourcing this anymore. So I just put up a story and somebody reached out to me. And since I couldn't get out, I just so my mom had one of my pieces. I just told her to like refast it to this guy, and I told him that okay, this is how the piece is. And I asked my fabric vendor to send like courier the fabric to him. I was like, okay, he has a machine at home. I can't do anything. I can't get out of my place, so I'm just gonna give you the sample. Just make it on your own. Figure the piece out, make it, and show me if you can do it because usually when tailors see my clothes, they just get scared and they go like, "Madam, ye to nahi ban payega." And I'm just like, like I can help you with it. It's not that complicated. And yeah, he figured it out somehow. Like through calls, I helped him and he made it. And I was like, okay, this guy knows. He understands my fashion sensibility, or he understands my pattern. So I took him in my team and he helped me get another tailor. So we're a team of three right now. And for the other stuff, when it came to like my packaging and everything, so my roommate is a graphic designer, so she helped me with my packaging here and there. And I've always like had like an OCD when it came to aesthetics, and I've used it everywhere. It's in on my Instagram, it's on my website. So I use my aesthetics and my color palettes in terms of how I want my packaging to be. And the very first order that I got after magnetic fields, I'm still home, so But at this point, so I tested negative, and my roommate who went and did the pop up for me came back testing positive. So I'm at home again. And that's what happened. And I'm at home and I got the order and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do because I don't have a packaging. And I had gray fabric, I had my label, and I always wanted my pieces to be like I'm a conscious brand, so I always wanted like a fabric packaging for my stuff. So I just sat and stitched this dust bag with like a gray fabric, which is like gray, beige, black. These are like the base colors of the brand. So I used the fabric and I took the label and I like placed it down and I stitched it. So I did this by hand. And then I was like, okay, I want this person to be able to use the bag even otherwise. So I gave it like a thread which you can stretch out from both sides. So you can use it as a bag, which, you know, when you're traveling, you can put in your makeup, you can keep your shoes in it, or you can use it as a carry bag to put in your clothes while traveling. So I made that. So now the client has an experience apart from shopping for whatever, like the person got a t-shirt from me. So apart from the t-shirt, now they also have a bag which can be used in a situation otherwise. Like, so all of my friends have supported me and like shopped from me, and it's so amusing to see how each one of them has put the bag to very different use. Somebody has their makeup in it, someone's put the toiletries, someone uses it to like carry shoes around the place, someone's kept it as a like below a flower pot so it becomes like a bag to like cover a pot. So it's got multiple uses, and yeah, that's what helped me with my packaging. And then after a point, I started getting orders from outside Mumbai. Now I have to deal with the shipping problem. So I'm like, oh, now I don't have a packaging for shipping because this is just fabric. So then I started with a box, which the fabric bag goes inside a box. So even for the box, I just made a simple box because this is like my outer cover. So I just put like my QR code on it. So whoever sees it, if you scan it, you reach my Instagram. So you know where this is coming from. So that like figuring one step at a time, that's how like now I have like a proper packaging box which has this fabric bag inside it, which has a paper that covers the garment, there's a thank you card, and like I keep adding stuff each time, like every time I'm growing, so I change it, I tweak it. And the best part is that I don't do mass production, so everything is exclusive and everything is carefully thoughtfully made after I get an order. So each time I have a new collection, I tend to like change the color of the packaging bag. So if you shop from me a month or 2 months back, you might have a gray bag. But now, if you shop from me, I'm giving you the same kind of bag, but in a beige. So every time you're getting a different bag as well. So yeah, that's how it is. So it's fun because at the same time, I'm trying to slowly dive into being super conscious as a brand because all the waste that I have, like my scrap fabric, I use it to make a new collection that goes out as one of ones and exclusive pieces. And even if the scrap is super tiny and it's just like threads coming out which can't be put to like proper garment use, my tailor really like helps me with these things, wherein he made like an iron pillow. So, and he stuffed all the like the chota scrap fabric and the dust kind of scrap fabric into that, and he's made an iron pillow. So now if I want to iron a curved surface, like for example a sleeve, it goes on the pillow and we iron it, and it's put like it's different use, but that pillow has been created with our scrap from like the past collection. So nothing's going 100% out, and we're not wasting water or fabric or anything of that sort. So that's something that, I mean, the fact that it's not mass produced, this is something that I can inculcate into my brand, which I'm doing. And I'm also dropping like a one of one collection really soon, wherein I'll have about 5, 6 pieces that are exclusively one of ones, completely made out of like upcycled fabric and scrap. So I'm
Oh
working
wow.
on that right now. It just, the only problem is this takes really, really long because it takes us like 3 days to put the scrap together just to make 1 meter of fabric. So it's a very tedious process, but the end product is
Whoa.
always amazing to look at because you're in, when it comes to these pieces, we create the fabric that makes the garment. So it's from the first to the last step, everything is done by us.
Wow. So like yeah, like also like you have a very like iterative process. So every time something comes up. So it's see like yeah, it's nice to see that even though you say like you're an overthinker and things like that, you didn't necessarily like stop the like your process if something went wrong. Like you kept launching new things and like figured out the solutions on the go rather than like figuring it all at the start.
Yeah, I think I get that from my mom. So because the very first time that I made a mistake, so I don't know if I should say this out loud since we're recording this, but anyway, I sent out these pants and there was no hole or button in it, and the customer goes like, "Hey," and now that I have this impression that I do things that are weird and out of the box, he goes like, "Hey, is this intentional?" I was like, listen, I was like, listen, no, I'm really sorry, but this is completely my fault. I'm so sorry for like having this sent to you. And I completely freaked out. I was like, Mom, like I sent out pants with no buttons in it. Like, what do I do? What do I do? She's like, see, now you've already made the mistake. There's nothing that can be done. Just like calm down, get it back, say sorry, and like just probably send him something as like a note, like a sorry note,
Yeah.
because he probably wanted to wear it somewhere that he can't do anymore. And that's how I fixed it. And but after that, every time I check my pants like 10 times, because that was a step that I didn't do 100% earlier, because of which I made this mistake. This happened in like the very start. And yeah, I mean, I've been very careful after that.
Before I guess we go to the next segment, I just have one other question regarding like your gender neutral aspect of your brand. Like there's no particular garment for just a woman or just a man. So like how did that concept or what like motivated you to create a brand that's completely like gender neutral?
When it comes to dressing up is something that this is my in my personal opinion, I feel like it is not something that can be separated by gender barriers, because I wear a lot of, like, initially when I was back in college, I used to shop from the menswear section because I found the clothes much cooler, and like I always liked baggy pants. And for women, however baggy they were, the thigh and the calf would always be sticking to each other, and it's like fitted. So I mean, I've never been like a black LBD or like a bodycon dress kind of a person. I've always been like a big t-shirt and loose clothes kind of a person. So that way I was just like, okay, now even I personally find menswear cooler. Why not just make clothes? Like that's what I do. I make clothes. I don't make clothes for you or for him. I just make clothes for anybody who would want to wear it. And it doesn't even differentiate in terms of age. Like I did a shoot with my nani wherein she wore my t-shirt and she's wearing headphones and chilling, because my whole point of the brand is that I'm not just selling clothes, I'm selling a lifestyle, and I'm selling a cool like chill out. Like these are clothes for people to be comfortable in. It might take you a while to get used to it because it might be a little out of the box. And not every now tomorrow a lawyer can't wear this jacket and go to court, obviously. But these pieces are for everyone. Definitely now after court, if you want to go for a party, yes, please, like you can wear it. Whoever wants to can wear it. And that's what I want to push out, that tomorrow if there's an uncle who comes and shops from me and he likes like a jacket, that is for him as well. It's not particularly made keeping anybody in mind. And I've had a lot of guys come and inquire about these. So I made this upcycled crop top, which is called the Mile High top, because it has like this entire crisscross detail in the front. So the whole Mile High concept, because you open the crisscross detail, the top's off. So it's that easy. I mean, and I had a guy who came and he's like, "Can I wear this?" I was like, "Yes, please." Like, of course. And I kid you not, but I have worn that top. My friends have worn that top, but he looked so hot in it, and he sold that top so well. I made two sales at the moment. So he wore it at a pop up, and I got two orders on the top like right after that. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, I want to push this idea, because the fact that he's wearing it shouldn't be a deal at all, because he wants to wear it, he's wearing it. I mean, you don't need to be reacting about, oh, she's a girl, why is she wearing like baggy shorts and a hoodie, because now she's wearing what she wants to express herself. She doesn't have to express her gender, because now that is visibly out there, and even if it's not, it's none of your concern.
So yeah, I think it's important that you're bringing that concept to India, especially because in a country like ours, which is so traditional, it is um, it is something that needs to be said. And as India grows with that mindset, hopefully Balab's the one that's like driving it, growing with it, um, and that's it's a um, great mindset to be in. But yeah, let's go to the next segment, right? So I think this is quite a fun segment, and I think considering what the conversation's been so far, it'll be interesting to see what your thoughts are. So it's called red flags. We're going to give you three situations. Each situation has like three sub items. So two things that are going great and one, let's say, not going so great. So the red flag itself. And then you have to pick which of these three situations you'd rather be in and why. So situation one is that Balab's Instagram and community is growing fast, almost viral. Your stock at the CDC center in Delhi is running out constantly, but you have a long creative block. That's situation one. Situation two is Balab is getting new orders and customers every day. People are connecting with the brand ethos and are able to express themselves better through Balab, but your website breaks down and you lose orders for a week. That's situation two. And then situation three is that you're able to do a pop up at New York Fashion Week. Your latest collection is covered in top fashion magazines around the world, but you find a Bala copycat that's stealing your market.
I think the third situation.
Oh, how come?
Okay, so situation three, because firstly, I'm at New York Fashion Week, which is one of the checklist goals, and I want to be there. And my latest collection is covered in top fashion magazines around the world. Yes. I find a copycat that's stealing my market. I have had that issue about a month ago, and I think again I've dealt with the issue. I can deal with it again in the future. Why? Because they can copy whatever they feel like. Because once I sell out, like I sell a collection, and once my stuff is out, I do not restock. So this only pushes me to create newer stuff and make more. So I think situation three would be like the most ideal situation to be in.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, right? Like, they also say imitation is the best form of flattery. So if someone's copying you, it obviously means you've got something good that people want. Um, and yeah, I mean, like, there is this aura about New York Fashion Week and fashion magazines that's unbeatable by any other kind of, like, whether you have a social media following or, you sell out your entire stock. Nothing beats getting those, as you said, right? It's like a checklist
That's the
kind of
best
thing that
form
you
of
have to do.
marketing, right? Because after that, after like a New York Fashion Week show, there is like everybody knows what Balav is, and there is no like going back from that position. So I think that's like the most ideal position for a designer to be in. And yeah, people can copy as much as they want to, because I think plagiarism is something that is always going to be there, and people do this in the name of inspiration. It's been there since forever, it will be there, and nobody can change that.
Yeah, no, makes sense. But yeah, with that, let's move on to our final segment. I'll hand over to Janvi.
So yeah, our final segment is the rapid fire. So as the name states, I'll ask a few questions and then you have to give us rapid answers.
I'm ready. I've always wanted to do a rapid fire.
Okay, perfect. So the first question: how many all-nighters did you pull in your first year of Bala?
Oh my god, I've been pulling all nighters ever since I joined fashion college. So I think that's like a way of life now. I sleep at 4. I mean, sleeping at 4 is like my normal, even if I don't have work. So that's how it is.
Oh God, okay. Have you ever questioned whether it was worth it?
Never, 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 never.
The scrappiest thing you've done to build Bala?
I can't really think of anything. But I mean, I've definitely done some dumb shit, but I can't think of anything like right now.
And then you started with this with just an investment of 1 lakh. All of it was done scrappily, right? That's how you
Yeah,
built
yeah.
it.
Weirdest place from where you've worked?
The place where I'm working from right now is the weirdest place, because it's like this really small. I don't even know how many square foot it is, because it's so small that I don't think the term square foot exists for that place. But it's like this really small box where I have two machines and a table, and my tailor just goes like, "Madam, please koi jagah dhoond do ya nahi ho pa raha," and I'm just not able to find like a good spot, because I've been wanting to like shift since like 2 months now, and it's just so difficult to find like a place, like a good place in Bombay.
Okay. Your favorite fashion magazine?
I think ID and paper. Why? Because it's like really, it's got like an off approach to it.
Your favorite designer?
Demna, like Balenciaga, Demna Gvasalia, and Daniel Roseberry from Schiaparelli.
Your favorite Bala product?
my pants and my actually I love everything, but that's like a very cliche answer. But yeah, the pants and the upcycled the Mile High top.
Yeah, I was guessing the pants with like the 12 pockets, given
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like
That's
given
why
our conversation.
and those pants are actually called lost my shit pants because like I lost my shit while I made them. You lose your shit when you wear them. Yeah.
That's funny. Would you ever retire?
I don't think so because I enjoy what I'm doing. So I think I'm just gonna be doing this for the rest of my life. But I'm just gonna have like a huge team and like I'm just gonna be like on calls. I mean that's what I manifest. I'm just gonna handle everything through calls, design every time because I'm very like OCD about the fact that I design for my brand. So that is one thing I think I'm gonna do forever. And yeah, I hope it goes as per plan.
Which hobby of yours did your work kill?
I think nothing because all my hobbies have been on the same lines. I like painting. I do that even now, and that's where my like I make like business cards and stuff for my brand. So I derive my ideas from my artwork, which I still do. And yeah, I think I've not really been like someone with like a lot of hobbies. My mom just used to put me in every class when I was a kid, but I just like art and crafts and like fashion. So that
So you made your hobby your work, basically.
yeah,
That's great. Book or podcast?
podcast.
An iPad or a notebook?
iPad. I think that's the best thing that happened to me. It's the easiest. It made life so much easier and so convenient because, like, I'm not the best at illustrating like a body, but an iPad just like it changed all of it for me. So yeah, hands down an iPad, and I'd like suggest everyone who's in design to go get one. It's like the best investment ever.
Your favorite social media platform?
Instagram. I'm
Yeah.
addicted.
Okay, so that concludes our rapid fire segment and bringing us to the end of the conversation. But before we end our podcast, we ask our guest to ask our next guest a question. The question is,
What's the one thing they would want to change about their past?
Okay, I need to like think a little. But maybe be a little more organized as a person. I think if I develop or and probably become like a morning person because every time I wake up in the morning, like wake up early, I've just realized that it makes my day much, much more productive, which is something I lack because I sleep really late and like I'm a night person. So that is something I'd absolutely like to change about my past and my present actually.
I would say, like, in terms of organization, it seems like your inspiration comes from how disorganized you are. So I think it is good that, like, you're not that organized.
Probably, but I feel like if I do, then the time when I run out of ideas after being disorganized is when I become organized and start doing like an organized collection. So there's like a difference in the clothes that I make.
It was an absolutely amazing conversation. Thanks so much, Vaishnavi, for coming on board. Um, and yeah, it's just
Thanks for
absolutely
having
great.
me because this was really fun. I mean, I've always wanted to do like a rapid fire and like be part of a podcast where I get to talk. It's like super fun. Thanks, guys.